So I figured since like every one of my videos that you see, I'm always standing behind this wall or in front of this wall. Pardon me, I'm just kind of rambling. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to actually talk about the paint. I thought it would actually be kind of cool to talk about the paintings and what they are. I mean, all of these pieces are ones that I've done myself. These ones are not for sale, but I do have several over at my Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/candydandyart, that you could absolutely pick up that are just as nice. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Okay, well, first of all, we have these abstract pieces, and there's not a lot of meaning behind the abstract pieces. I just personally like the way that they look. I find the waviness and the patterns and all that other good shit, the colors, the vibrancy, to be very pleasing to the eye, especially these little prism pieces like this. These ones up here. This one's one of my favorite ones. I call it Mr. Blobby because it reminds me of the character Mr. Blobby. Just the color palette reminds me of it. Also the personality, if you've seen the internet, or I guess if you're British, if you've seen the British shows that he was on or whatever. But yeah, these are just kind of basic abstract pieces. A lot of them are pour parts, like those ones are, right there. Part of my nasty man hands. But yeah, those are what those are. They got a couple of ones from the holiday pieces that we did. This one I did backwards. So yeah, and that's pardon the my place is kind of a mess. So pardon the occasional sounds of things being stepped and squished. Yeah, that's what those are. I like to add a little metallic paint in there from time to time to give it a nice pop when the light hits it. And then we've got these pop culture ones like RoboCop right here. This one's a cute one. I call it Tromatello. I actually have prints of this one at our Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/candydandyart. It's a homage to the Toxic Avenger and the Ninja Turtles, which were two of the things I really enjoyed as a kid and still enjoy today. In fact, I think it's great that my niece really likes Ninja Turtles as well, and it's fun to talk with her about TMNT. So that's pretty cool. Hi, Punkito. Mars Attacks. I was a big fan of that when I was a teenager. The movie came out, and then I eventually got into the card series, and I just really dig the whole vibe of the thing. Also, again, we have prints of this one also at our Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/candydandyart. Snake Eyes 91. I know that this might seem crazy. I am a bit of a G.I. Joe fan, but I really personally liked the 91 version of the character more than the other versions. I know it seems kind of weird because he's like the least popular version. But I just really digged that they opened up his color palette from just being black and gray to this like funky blue and black outfit with like a semi hockey mask for a head and the red goggles. It was one of my favorite toys as a young kid, and I just really liked the design of them. I've done another version of this as an homage to Metal Gear, and that's also available as prints. You know the website by now, etsy.com/shop/candydandyart. No, I'm not going to stop repeating it. Up here we've got Muncher Dude, which is a play on Pac-Man. You can see the ghosts in his goggles as he's munching away, trying to make them disappear with the pellets. Okay, so you're probably asking, why does my style look so weird? It's kind of got this... You can distinctly tell it's a Candy Dandy piece by the way it's painted, and it's kind of a mix of mid-modern, 80s and 90s pop culture stuff, and cubism. There's a dash of cubism in there as well. You probably can't see it so much on these pieces like these ones, but you could absolutely see it on the bigger pieces like these ones. Also employ a style called maximalism, which is basically the opposite of minimalism, where with minimalism, less is more, but with maximalism, more is more. So we tend to paint every surface that we have whenever we're painting something. We don't like to leave spaces empty as color breaks or anything. So like even small pieces like this one here, got a yellow background. but it's completely covered in red spots. Because it's just how my mind works. Everything's filled in there. It's very reminiscent to like Jack Kirby, for example, who also did a lot of maximalism with his artwork. Like Keith Haring. Keith Haring is a great example of maximalism in action, if you've ever seen any of Keith Haring's work. And we'll do a video about him eventually, because I really dig his stuff too. Speaking of art, this is a tiny piece I call the artistic process, because, yeah, that's basically the artistic process. I'm not going to elaborate any further, because honestly, it's like trying to explain math to a potato. It's indescribable, the artistic process, but this basically sums it up, if that makes sense, which it probably doesn't. That's okay. It made sense to me. If you've seen my other videos, you've probably seen the more creepy version of this piece. This is Sin, which is, we've gone over before. That's the version I like. It kind of looks more like a birthday cake in this version, which I feels kind of suiting, because I tend to have a pretty vibrant personality that's very clown-like, hence why my drag is clown-based. And here is a self-portrait. Half of my face in drag, half of my face not in drag. The pyramid you see up there is because I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. It's where I lived a good portion of my early life. It's on fire because I was born at a time when the firemen were on strike and setting buildings on fire. At the bottom of that, you got the little Arizona flag with the cacti, because that's where I'm currently stuck. Better or worse of a term. But yeah, a little self-portrait there. I got the dimes popping out of the hat because I've always got money on my mind. Always worried about finances, and it tends to be on my mind a lot. This piece up here, I call that one Intrusive Thoughts. It's pretty self-explanatory. That's essentially what an intrusive thought looks like. This one right here is one of my personal favorites. It's a copycat piece that I did of Francis Bacon's Figure with Meat. This one is called Figure with Sweets. I really like Francis Bacon's stuff. I had a girl that I knew in high school got me interested in Francis Bacon, and I thought his stuff was really, really fucking cool. So I've been a fan of him ever since. You might recognize this also from the '89 Batman movie, because that's where the Francis Bacon piece was in the Batman gallery scene. So it's the one that Joker liked. The audio quality is probably shit on this because I don't have a mic and I'm just talking while I'm holding my phone. Oh well, enjoy the air conditioner. This one we have prints of as well on our Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/candydandyart. It's about how music can drown out the background noise and make you feel more calm and at peace. I've always really enjoyed music, and usually when I'm in a bad mood, I'll listen to something and feel a little better. I tend to listen to like David Bowie and shit like that, Fiona Apple whenever I'm in a bad mood, Carrie Palmy Palmy when I'm in a good mood. I have a pretty wide musical taste. Yeah, that was not a word at all. Let's see here. We did the Sin piece. This is Numbers. This is about my childhood. Didn't really have a great childhood. And I'm not sure if I want to get into the backstory about this one, but needless to say, yeah, I didn't really have a great childhood. So we're going to just move on from that because I don't want to be a downer. This one here is some things that I enjoy in life, the small things. We all have our little things that we love. If you followed my other videos, you know stars represent joy to me. And what we have in this is palm trees, because I find palm trees to be very, very beautiful. Cloudy skies, peanut butter cups, a good cup of coffee, and a dab pen. Here we have Man, which is... It's the type of personality I feel I need to adapt whenever I'm out in public, because you know I'm very vibrant, and that tends to cause problems. So like at work or when I'm out going somewhere, I tend to tone myself down and just kind of reflect the personalities that people show me, because it's just an easy way for me to, like, not to just be able to just, like, do shit. So it's kind of a emotionless robot surrounded by mirrors with a coin slot in their head. And that's man. Not all these are happy pieces. I tend to do these very colorful pieces, but they're not all happy. I call it pulling a Bowie, which, if you've ever actually listened to a David Bowie song, they're actually pretty different from the sound that it sounds like most of the time. Like, everybody loves Major Tom, but nobody actually talks about how the song is literally about an astronaut floating off to his death in space, because it's just such a pretty song. Now this one and this one are both called drag, and it's just one of those things I really enjoy doing. I like doing drag because it makes me feel more comfortable, especially on camera. I've thought about doing shows and shit, but honestly, I'm not very good at crowds or being in bars, and I really just do it for myself more than anything. I don't think I'm cut out for that type of bar scene stuff. So I usually just stick to the videos doing it. I love doing it. It's just, yeah, mentally I don't think I'm there for doing bar shows and all that shit. I mean, in all fairness to anybody who does do those, I mean, my hat's off to you, but, like, yeah, I just don't think I'm built for that. But yeah, I just really like the way that it looks. I was going to do other ones too, but I was like, I think two's good. It's like, I view drag as a compromise because my mentality doesn't fit with the way that I look. So the closest I can get to approximating my physical appearance looking like how I feel inside is by dressing up as a clown. Yeah. I'm sure if I could actually afford therapy, a therapist would have a field day with that. But yeah, so that's also why I like to do drag. It's the closest I can get to being myself. There's the crown jewels. I think those are the last ones we haven't covered. Oh, no, wait, no, not yet. Hold on. There's another one we need to get in the way. Hold on. This piece right here, I can't remember the name of it, but it's essentially... it's a companion piece to the man piece, if you can't tell, because there's the robot man right there again. But it's a conflict of following your dreams and joys and aspirations versus paying the bills and having a roof over your head that you can afford. The piece is signed both ways so that you can turn it one way or the other. It's kind of a mood detector, essentially. What mood are you in today? Are you more robot or are you more queen? So that's what that is. I almost forgot this piece right here. This piece is called The Clown, or Reject Nihilism, Embrace Absurdity. And it's one of those things, because, like, for the longest time I was a pretty nihilistic person, nothing matters, but there's two ways you can look at that. You can either look at it like nothing matters, so nothing you do matters, or nothing matters, so why not have fun while you can? And essentially just embrace the absurdity of life. Anything can happen at any moment. Something good, something bad, and a lot of it's out of your control. So the best thing you can do is just take it with a smile if you can, and embrace the absurdity of things. And now on to the big ones. Tempests. There's 3 of them. Tempest 1, Tempest 2, and Tempest 3. Now there's other stuff on this wall too, but we're not going to get into that one because you never see this wall. It's mostly Harley Quinn stuff. I like Harley Quinn. One of my favorite characters. So yeah, display pieces that I made, a little collage piece we did. Yep. Okay, so these pieces, Tempest 1, 2, and 3. The Tempests are essentially what it's like inside my brain, if that makes sense. I have bipolar disorder. And Tempest is essentially a giant storm that is usually over the ocean, constantly moving. So that's what my brain feels like, is a tempest. Tempest 1 is about how I have a hard time communicating, where the words that I'm trying to say come out differently than what I was intending them to mean. You got all this distractions going on, bubbles, balls, questions, stripes, colors, scales, stars, and just leaving me in a tizzy. So like when I get overly excited or I get manic, I have problems with communicating. Or if I'm nervous, that's why I usually don't do rehearsals, because yeah, I get too nervous whenever I get on camera, even if I do study my lines. So that's why I'm always kind of jittery. Then also I have way too much caffeine. Tempest 2 is how I easily get distracted and don't hear things or mishear something, because I'm too focused on time. And yeah, that's what that piece is about. Getting older and thinking about all the things I've got to do and all the things I want to do and how much time I have left to do any of it. And it's just very frustrating. You know, it really is. And then Tempest 3 is about how I get distracted with thoughts. I got a little viewfinder there. It says 2020 in the eyes. That's not a reference to the year 2020. That's a reference to the old saying, hindsight is 2020. Yeah, just every now and then I get distracted with thoughts and memories of the past, or things I'm worrying about doing in the future, whether it's old past or immediate past, or, you know, even the weird little whataboutisms and what ifs and potential calamities and shit like that. I'm always worried about everything else except for what I'm doing at the moment. So that's what that piece is about. And I think that's pretty much all these pieces. I'm sure this video is going to be absolutely crap, and if you have motion sickness problems, I am so sorry for how shaky my camera is. I'm just jittery. Okay, that time I did it on purpose. But yeah, anyway, just a quick little video. I'm going to be doing a new video pretty soon, but I thought I would give this a try, see how it looks. I'm not doing the costume today, so that's why I'm not on camera, because I don't like being on camera if I'm not in costume. But anyway, oh yeah, this piece. I really like to drink occasionally, and one of the things I enjoy doing is trying new wines and new drinks, and whenever I do, I like to share them. And this is one of the pieces that I usually use as a background piece for whenever I'm drinking. So I really dig that. It's a little wine glass with corks in it. Some of those are really good wines. I like that Mimic wine a lot. The Cali Red Snoop Dogg wine's really fucking good. A little Harley Quinn with her absinthe spoon. Yeah, we're going to be doing something with that pretty soon. But yeah, I got a little wine rack there with my favorites in it so far. I really dig the Apothix. That's the Mimic right there. But anyway, this has been Candy Dandy. If you like my art and you want to buy some for yourself, you know the shop, etsy.com/shop/candydandyart. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good one.